Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about how to put a wire keeper on a spinnerbait. So here I've made my spinnerbait skirt. This other spinnerbait got chewed up all year. Time to put a new skirt on it. Now, most spinnerbait skirts come with this little elastic keeper on it. If you make your own skirts, you probably got a lot of these laying around. If you just buy skirts, and you can buy these online in a lot of places, or even in tackle shops. Sometimes they'll have replacement skirts. They come with this little silicone rubber keeper, and it'll last for a few fish. It'll last for maybe 4 or 5 trips, but then eventually it breaks and you end up with a spinnerbait that looks like this. That spinnerbait's not a loss, and you can save your other spinnerbaits and keep them better longer by adding a wire keeper to that spinnerbait, right? This is just 24 gauge stainless steel wire, and I'm going to show you guys how to make this skirt last a whole lot longer. Right, so what you're going to do is you want to get your skirt ready to put on your spinnerbait, and you're going to pull up that wire keeper a little bit, or that silicone keeper a little bit, so you have this nice exposed spot right here. You want to put the longer side of the skirt on the back and the shorter side on the front. It helps the flare of the skirt, and it looks more realistic in the water. Right, so what you're going to do is you're going to thread this on, right, to the spinnerbait, thread it up and around, and roll this up on. Now, what you want to do is you want to position this skirt how you want it to look as the bait's going to be naturally in the water. You want that skirt to be balanced on every side of the bait. You want it to lay correctly, because once you wire this thing on, it's not going to come off, and it's not going to move as much as it normally would with a regular keeper on there. So I'm just evening out every side, getting that orange belly on there. I want this one to look like a sunfish pattern. So what we're doing is we're getting that skirt nice and level. Now, I'm going to take that short side and I'm going to pull it up. So what I'm doing is I'm separating my skirt strands out again so that I can wire this on there, right? And what I got here is a little bunch. I'm settling all of this out so it's nice and straight. I'm going to pull that keeper down a little bit onto the tail because I'm going to put the wire on above it, right? So what we have here is all of our strands separated, right? And we're going to place that wire right here around the head of the spinnerbait, right? So we lay that out. What we're going to do is we're going to unwind a little bit of wire, maybe 4 inches, right? And cut it off. And what you're going to do is you're going to make a U, right? Just like this. And take that U, put it around the spinnerbait. Now, put the flat side on the bottom side. And what you're going to do, once that flat side's on that bottom side like that, you're going to take that U up and make a crossed X like this. And you're going to try to pull it tight as you can on the bottom, right? And as you make that cross X, you're going to pull and twist so that this is flush against the bait, right? So what you've created here is a little metal loop. And what you're going to want to do is twist that loop one time, just like that. Now, make sure everything is laid down how you want it to be laid down. Make sure you got no pieces of that skirt out of place, because what you're going to do then is you're going to take your pliers, hold on to that bait right there. You're going to take your pliers and grip right here at the base of this twist, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to twist. And as you twist, it's going to tighten up that wire loop. That's why we use those pliers, because it's going to tighten it up a lot better than our hands would, right? So you want to grab the base of that wire, and you're going to give it 3 or 4 good twists. And you'll know when that is tightening down, because you'll see visibly that wire tighten down to the head of that spinnerbait, and it'll squeeze those strands. So now that I've got 4 or 5 good twists on there, right, I'm going to make sure everything's in place. And what I'm going to do then, it's all on there, everything's in place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cutters here, and I'm going to cut the ends of those wires off, right? And I left a little sprue on there, because then I'm going to take that sprue, I'm going to take this plastic off. And you can just take it off with your fingers. There we go. and then we'll just roll it right off. You can cut it off too, or whatever. But now, what we have here is a perfectly placed, perfectly lined up wire keeper on a spinnerbait. Now, brush this down, move these around, and what we have here, friends, is a spinnerbait skirt that will now be far better off than what it was. Now, I like to take my cutters too on my spinnerbaits, and I want to trim this up to be about a 1/2 inch from that blade. And where I find I get a lot better bites with that wire keeper, and with that shorter skirt, it's a more compact spinnerbait, especially in a bait fish profile like that. This is a spinnerbait that's going to last you a season and catch you a lot of fish, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. I add wire keepers to almost all of my baits, right? Here's a red one that I just did. It takes about 5 minutes, and it's a great way to save money, and it's a great way to reuse and repurpose existing baits you have, right? So take that 24 gauge wire, wrap it around there, give it a couple twists, and now you've got a wire keeper on a blade bait, right? Awesome, awesome, awesome tip for saving money. Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. Give us a like and subscribe for more tips.